is if you don't have no angles and you got all sides. So let's say we got all sides. Let's say we got B 12, we got C 16, and we got little a is 10. You know you can't use law of sines because you got 3 different letters. But you can use law of cosines. Now if you don't have any angles, you look for the biggest side. So which one of these is the biggest side? C. So that's the formula for law of cosines that you're going to use. The formula with C in it, the C squared formula. So let me write it down so y'all can see it. The formula is C squared equal A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. And so you got everything except this big C. So what you got, C is 16, so you got 16 squared equal 10 squared, because that's what A is, plus 12 squared, because that's what B is, minus 2 times 10 times 12 cosine of C. So let me know when y'all ready for me to move on. Yeah. Yeah, this is part of it. This is like an extension of it. So 16 squared is what? So that's 256 equal 100 plus 144 minus, you got 2 times 10 times 12. What does all that multiply out to? 240, because 2 times 10 is 20, and you multiply that times 12, so that give you 240. So 240 cosine of C. So right now we can't, listen to S, we can't put all this in the calculator because we got a letter that the calculator don't even know how to do, which is C. If you knew what C was, you can put all this in the calculator. So since we can't, we got to do it by steps. First thing we can do is add the 100 and the 144 up, because those are just like terms. So what does that give you? That give you 244. So we got 256 equal to 244 minus 240 cosine C. So why can't we put the 244 and the 240 together? Because this 240 is attached to cosine C, so we got to move this 244 over to the other side. And how we move it? Subtract. So you're going to subtract 244 from both sides. And so 256 minus 244, what does that give you? 12. So you got 12 equal to negative 240 cosine C. Okay. How do you get the negative 240 off of the cosine C? Divide. So you got to divide by negative 240. Both sides. And when you divide 12 by negative 240, what does that give you? It's going to give you a decimal 2. It's going to be a negative point something. Is it negative?
Yeah, negative 0.05.
Negative 0.05 equal cosine C. So anybody know what we're solving for? C. Okay. That's a negative 0.05 equal cosine C. So how you get the cosine to the other side? The same way you got that sine to the other side. It's not. You can't divide by a function. What do we do to sine? How we move the sine over? Inverse. So you got an inverse cosine button on your calculator too. When you move the cosine over, you're gonna have cosine inverse of negative 0.05, and that's equal to big C. And so that'll give you what C is when you plug that in the calculator. And let me know what y'all get.
92.86 or 93.
So C is 93. You had a question? Okay. You tell me. Now we got big C. So we got big C and little c. So what that mean if you got two of the same letters? The other formula, which is the law of sines. And so since we got C, we're going to go back to get A. So the two formulas we're going to use, remember it's three of them, but you're only using two at a time. The two we're going to use is the one with C in it. So that's going to be C over sine C. And we equaling that to the one with A in it because we're trying to get A. So it's going to be A over sine A. And so little c, we already know what it is 16. So we're going to be 16 over sine 93 because we just figured out what big C was. And that's equal to little a. Little a was 10, so that's 10 over sine big A. So everybody know what letter we're trying to get now? We're trying to get big A. So to get this out of fraction form, you cross multiply it. And so you're going to have 16 sine A equal to what? You're going to equal to 10 sine 93. Okay, you're trying to get A by itself, so what you need to get rid of first over here? 16. So to get rid of it, you divide both sides by 16. It's all repetitive. And so when you plug this 10 sine 93, so the way you do it is 10 sine 93 hit equal and then divide it by 16. And so what decimal does that give you? Is that what somebody else got? 0.107? Confirmation? When you put 10 sine 93 and then hit enter and then divide it by 16 and hit enter, he got 0.107. Is that what y'all got? 0.62? So I'm going to go with the 0.62. Well, let me put it in there. So we got 10 sine 93. Yeah, it's 0.62. So it comes out to 0.62. Okay? We almost done. How you get the sine to the other side? So you're going to have A equals sine inverse of 0.62. And that's going to give you A. And what does that come out to be? Remember, you can round it to the nearest whole number. Remember, you got to hit the orange key. Orange sine inverse and then 0.62. And what whole number is that? 38? So that comes out to 38. So A is 38 degrees. So you got big C, big A. So how you get big B? So 38 plus 93 is what? And then 180 minus 131. 49? 49. And voila, you finished this one. So those are only two type of problems that you got on there. So, let me give you the assignment. Make sure